What's up, everyone, and welcome to the Replayer Podcast. My name is Dan, and of course, with me is my co-host, Pagan.
Oh, hi.
Oh, hi. What's going on?
Oh, hi. I'm good. How are you?
This is just the theme that we have going now. It's just, oh, hi.
It seems to be. Oh, hi.
Well, welcome to the Replayer Podcast. Today, we have two returning guests. Well, two guests. One's returning. One's new.
One
returning
new,
guest
one
is
returning.
Jennifer.
Hi.
Hi, Jennifer. And joining us for the first time, we have David. Hello, David.
Oh.
I can English too, Pagan.
I can't English.
I cannot.
That's fine. Welcoming David and Jennifer.
Jennifer.
Yeah.
Jennifer?
Jennifer. That's from The Witcher.
Oh,
That's
yes.
true.
Yes.
Oh, what
Yes.
a show.
Anyway,
Yeah.
Jennifer, you know how this works. We do things a little differently since the last time you've been here. We like to spend a little bit more time getting to know our replayer guests. So we've got some questions that we'd like to ask to get to know you guys, let our listeners get to know you guys, and learn about your replayer story, journey, whichever. Now
All of
we'd
it.
like to ask.
Just all of it.
He doesn't like the way I used to say replayer journey, and he had a problem with saying that.
I
So he
am
always
fine with
tried
replayer journey.
a different way. And now it's back to replayer journey. Just
Okay,
stick
which
with it, bro.
do we
Go with
want?
it.
Journey or story? What do you want? Whatever.
Let's
Is
do
it a journey? Is it a journey and story? Both?
Yeah.
Sorta?
A journey incorporates both,
Compromise.
right?
There you go. Compromise.
Yeah, there
there
we
you go. All
We're,
right.
we're all on the journey and we're all storytellers. So
There we go. See,
There you
David
go.
got it.
That
David
works.
got it.
Cool. Well, we like to start things off now with where are you from? And I'm going to kick it to David.
Well, I'm from a little town in the centre of England called Yeadon, which is a suburb of Leeds, which is a large city.
I need some Pagan Googles right now because I don't know any of those. I need
Googling
Dan Googles.
Yeadon. It sounds like
These-
Old English. Do you know the way it's like ye old
Well,
something? It's just
wait.
Yeadon. Like,
When you Google it, you might find the American town Yeadon, which is in Pennsylvania, I believe.
oh, that is true. I don't
I
want
might
to
be
go
better
there.
off
I
just
want
finding
to
an
go to...
episode of what was Gordon Ramsay's show where he went to restaurants and helped them.
Oh,
Like
no,
Kitchen
don't watch
Nightmares?
that filth.
Yeah.
I think
Don't
so.
watch
yeah.
that
the
filth.
British version though, not
Yes.
the American version. The
Right,
American
no,
version sucks.
No, you're thinking of the right one, but terrible.
He did too.
Oh.
He did too.
But he goes to little restaurants in little towns. There's a chance he might have
Yes.
gone there. So
Yeah,
Yes.
but who does? Who goes there?
Gordon Ramsay.
Right, filth. So don't watch it. Like-
Okay, so you hate Gordon Ramsay. Carrie.
Who does hate Gordon Ramsay? Gordon Ramsay's a dick.
He's not always a dick.
No, am I the only person who thinks that?
Maybe is it
dick.
because I'm a bit of a dick? So I'm like Gordon Ramsay's a cool guy.
You associate? You got a
I feel
dick
like
too?
I feel like that's a TV persona.
I
Like
think so, maybe.
when
maybe.
they interview him and he's not on Hell's Kitchen or Kitchen Nightmares or all the other stuff he does, he seems nicer. So I'm like, maybe
Yeah.
you're just putting it on for the cameras, and everyone kind of now knows you as that. They know you
Maybe.
as the guy who likes to curse a lot in Hell's Kitchen and Kitchen
I see that.
Nightmares and
a
just
performance. It's a performance.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. Well, he's performing like a dick.
yeah.
And
I mean,
I
yeah.
hate watching that shit.
It's
like if that's
funny.
TV, I'm like, no, turn that shit off. I
It's
can't.
so funny.
Well,
Can't
while
stand
you're at
anybody
it,
screaming
Jen,
real.
let us
Sorry.
know, and if you haven't already, tell us where you're from.
I was born and raised in the Bronx, New York. So I am from New York City. It is one of the 5 boroughs. Boroughs, not
Boroughs.
islands, towns, what have you. They are boroughs.
Mhm.
Ah.
We are the largest city in the United States, from what I recall. So, yeah,
That's
By
cool.
largest city, do you mean population-wise?
I want to say yes. Also,
Google
probably
it.
space-wise
Facts
too.
about the Bronx. This is what I do now. I Google shit because I can't help the
Facts-
thirst for knowledge, Brandy.
Facts
Okay.
about the
That's a throw to Brandy in the chat. She's like, why do you always Google? Because I can't stop.
Pagan Googles. That should be a segment.
Pagan Googles.
I'm curious because I know when I
Always
moved to
the same.
Houston last year, I found that Houston is the 4th largest city in the country.
Yes.
So I find
That
it
is
hard
correct.
to believe that the Bronx is bigger. Or are you saying New York
It's
City?
not the Bronx, New York City.
Okay, the
because
city.
it consists of 5 boroughs.
Right. Okay,
Oh.
I gotcha.
Queens, Manhattan, Brooklyn, Staten
I thought you were
Island,
talking
and the
about like
Bronx.
Bronx
So you're just
specifically.
talking
No.
about
The Bronx.
Okay.
The Bronx is just, I guess, on its own. If you're talking history, it was just a very small farming town.
If you're going in the way back,
No,
machine,
people. Yeah, like people did not think. Like when people think of the Bronx now, they think of the skyscrapers, the city.
I
landscape,
don't. I mean,
but
I'm
that
from New
wasn't always
York,
the
but
case.
I don't know any of that because I'm not from the city.
You know, though, what the Bronx does has that's the largest zoo in the country.
No.
The
How
Bronx
cool!
Zoo. Yes,
That's a
the
good
Bronx
choice.
Zoo.
It's the largest zoo in the
Yes.
country. I have got to go
Yes.
there.
Yes,
I'm all about going.
and it is across the street from the New York Botanical Garden, so you can check out both at the same time.
Excellent day trips. Thank you so much. It was also the birthplace of hip hop. Welcome to
Yes.
Pagan's Random Facts.
Fun facts with Pagan.
Yes,
Fun
on
fact of
Sedgwick
Pagan.
Avenue in the Bronx. Sedgwick Avenue. That the
That
building
is
is
right.
still there. Yes.
Cool. And then to throw
Wow.
it right back at you, Jen, remind us how you found the Retro Replay channel and when about do you think it was you started watching?
I want to say 2 years ago, but I don't.
Don't know
Time
for
has
sure.
just blended with
What
current
a
events
time.
right now. Yes, they have blended with current events right now. So I want to say 2 years ago, and it was just, for me, it was just to summarize, like just a random YouTube scrolling through stuff because I tried to catch up with gaming news, and then I ran across the 2 gentlemen who started it separately, and then saw, oh wait, there's a channel called Retro Replay. They play retro games.
You
Okay.
saw Drew and PJ? Just
I was
kidding.
just saying, Drew and PJ. Because technically,
Love to.
technically,
I would love
Oh.
to. I would love to meet them. That'd be awesome.
you can get
But
to know
yeah.
Drew a little better through our own podcast.
Yes.
Submit
Wink,
your
wink,
questions
clue,
to
clue.
thereplayerpodcast@gmail.com.
I'm just horrible
Sorry.
with thinking of questions. That's all.
That's okay.
But yes.
How's your day? Anything good? He needs friends.
How's your day? How's your day? Did you
Drew-
get the
Drew
internet
needs-
fixed, Drew?
Drew needs more gaming friends. Because he can't talk to PJ about
Aw.
gaming.
Oh, I know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Same question over to
met the
David.
two.
Or hold on.
Hold
go
up.
on, go on.
So you met the two separately at a con, and then they told you about this, or
No.
She's talking about the YouTube.
No. I'm talking about in terms of videos. I saw like one separate video
Oh,
of
sorry,
one person, one
sorry.
separate video of another person. That all, of course, got into, oh, here's this channel called Retro Replay. Do you want to check it out? Okay. Saw the first episode and I was like, yes.
Nice.
Oh, yes. Rage quit. Yes. Oh, yes.
nice.
Okay. Now over to David.
Sorry.
Same question.
Well, it's I'm fairly new to the community, so I've sort of become a mass watcher and stuff when lockdown started. So in between breaks from work and things like that, I would go on YouTube and I think it came up as a recommendation. But I sort of became aware that something might be sort of being created a long time before that because during sort of like the press junkets and stuff for Uncharted 4, both Troy and Nolan did a lot of interviews. PlayStation have a channel in the UK on YouTube called PlayStation Access, and they both went on there quite a lot, and it came up quite a bit that Nolan at least was going to go back and play all the Uncharted games and stuff like that, and I think I got a Google News story a couple of years later saying that showing it, they'd started doing it, but for whatever reason I didn't start watching it at that point. And then, like I said, I think it just came up on a Google YouTube recommendation, so I just got hooked on it then.
Was that for the Uncharted playthrough specifically? That was the first thing you saw?
Yes, so I probably started watching it for the Uncharted stuff, and then obviously I've gone back and started on level 1 and worked my way through. I actually probably just started watching the stuff about 2 weeks before Troy announced he was leaving, or
Oh
I guess
no.
they announced Troy was leaving. So yeah, so I missed the beginning of it really, but I still enjoy watching what Nolan does, and I try to get involved a little bit with what Troy's doing, but it's currently it's not that easy to participate. But hopefully that'll change in the
Yeah, I mean Troy's still developing and working on his content, so you
Yeah.
know that's still
I think
to
it's
come.
because it's behind like a paywall. It's on Patreon, which
yeah.
I can understand is difficult to come into, and there's a limited amount of members and stuff like that. I think they have plans in the future to open it up and put out free content, but at the moment I don't know.
I really
so
enjoyed.
it's hard to keep up.
Yeah, I really enjoyed sort of what he was doing on Instagram. His little shows. That was, not the best place to do it, but I enjoyed it. At least you could be involved and watch and ask a question, but with all the text scrolling up and down.
Yeah.
I personally have been enjoying like his one-on-one interviews with gaming, personalities. Like he did that one with Neil Druckmann, and then he did one with the actor from Ghost of Tsushima. So I found those really interesting to get to know those personalities, I would say for those. So that's something a little bit more in line of like the content that he's been doing that I enjoy. So hopefully we get more of that from Troy. But I still think it's cool that you got into it through the Uncharted playthroughs. To me, that's always like, they started doing Uncharted when I started playing, and I was like, oh, they're gonna play Uncharted, yeah.
Have you played Uncharted before, David?
I've got the platinum for all of them apart from Golden Abyss.
No way! That's impressive. Well done.
Hardcore.
I got a little bit burnt out on them because I played the first two back to back, and because you've got to play them twice at least to get the platinum.
Yeah.
It's just like I got burnt out, so I had a bit of a gap between number 2 and number 3, and then when the fourth one was coming out, I thought to myself, well, I've got to get the third one done. So I cracked through that, and then on to number 4, and then I've just recently done Lost Legacy as well. So
nice. What did you think of Lost Legacy as a side?
Yeah, it was good to flesh out Chloe's character a little bit more, and Nadine's. Obviously, Nadine's a fairly new character, so it was good to sort of flesh their backstories out a little bit more, because obviously Chloe hasn't had a huge part in the previous one, just comes in for a couple of scenes, then out again. So it's nice to sort of fill in some of the gaps of their sort of backstory and things. So yeah, and I think it played well. I enjoyed playing it. Fingers crossed for maybe some more.
Yeah, me too. I'm like, oh, please. Like,
I'd
like to see them do.
Character is perfect for another Uncharted game. Like if they did another Uncharted, like they could easily slide Chloe in there as a main character.
For sure. I'd like to see more of that. Honestly, I think I'd love to see them do Lost Legacy on the show from Retro Replay. Because I mean they're going to. I presume they're going to do all 4 Uncharteds. I don't know. I just presume. And then I thought like maybe they would do Lost Legacy. Golden Abyss, I can understand them trying to skip because it was PS Vita.
Yeah, it's a good game.
It is a good game.
Not a lot of people did play it, so yeah.
I played it. It was the first game I played on the Vita.
I think it might be worth. I think Golden Abyss may be worth a remaster.
What might be tricky though, if that would be great if they did a remaster, because it would make it much more playable. Because I think the tricky parts of them playing the Golden Abyss on Vita is capturing it, and there's a lot of parts of that game that require the Vita functionality of like the touch screen and the touchback and like blowing on it and stuff. There was all these game features that
what?
You got
the blow on the Vita?
Yes.
Well, you can actually blow on the PlayStation 5's controller, maybe, and we might be able to.
Well, here's the thing: that technology, all it was blowing on the microphone, and the microphone
it just
listened to the sound of the wind blowing over it. So the PlayStation 4
cool,
controller could do that too.
Yeah,
it was pretty neat. So like, I think there was a part in the game. It's been a while since I've played it, so if you know any better, you can correct me. There was a part where you pick up like something dusty, and you have to, and it'll blow the dust off of it.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
There's a lot of, I like that.
A lot of checking, sort of like rubbing.
You know how
like that.
Drake does the rubbings like he rubs paper on things to get the imprints.
Oh,
They
yeah.
do a lot of that too.
Oh,
Very Indiana
that's cool.
Jones.
It was basically a technical demo for the things a Vita could do, when then no other game had any use of
Right.
those.
No.
Nice.
Hence
They
why the
didn't.
Vita didn't do great.
didn't do too well.
Yeah.
Not here, at least in
Whoop.
the States.
Yeah.
So moving right along, the next question we have is, what is your favorite thing about Retro Replay? If you can name it, I'm going to throw it right back at you, David.
Well, initially, I really
Like-
liked Troy and Nolan sort of batting off one another. I like the rapport they had, which I think is a little bit missing now. But obviously, watching Nolan with his son play games is good, because it reminds me. It does sort of remind me of playing sort of games with my daughter and things like that. Nolan's got a very similar sense of humour to me and things. So, and sort of me and my brother used to sort of wind each other up when we used to play when we were younger, and
Nice.
try to put each other off and stuff. So yeah,
Oh.
How old is your daughter?
15.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
She's a good age for
Wow.
gaming then.
Yes.
Nice.
Yeah.
What kind of games do you play with her?
Well, we did put Lego games.
Nice.
Did you?
Oh, okay.
Nice.
We've started off with Lego Jurassic World, and I managed to convince her to get the platinum for that a couple of months ago.
Aw.
After refusing to go back and do the last couple of trophies, we've done that. I've got hooked on Fall Guys at the minute,
Yeah, good choice.
Okay.
Good
and
choice.
she really likes playing Overwatch.
Oh, okay. Nice.
Okay.
Good game.
I almost played some
Oh,
Overwatch
man.
today.
And she likes
Wow.
playing Sims and
Mhm.
Jurassic World Evolution.
Nice. That's a fun
Cool.
game too.
Very cool.
Nice. How about
Yeah.
you, Jen? Right back to you on the favorite thing of Retro Replay.
But like, as of right now, like the Father Knows Best, and I don't remember. I'm like, I know somebody came up with that title when they were asking for titles.
Yes.
I don't remember who it was.
was a
So
fan
shout out to that
suggestion.
person. Yeah,
Well-
shout out to that person.
It was also said in the live in Nolan's back garden,
Mhm.
because he was like,
okay.
Father knows best, but we're not sure.
Yeah.
And then people just ran with that and they loved it. So yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know exactly. We'll find out from Drew. We'll ask Drew.
We'll find out. That's
Like,
a question
who
for
thought of
Drew.
it
Another
First.
podcast question for Drew. Yeah.
Who
Yep.
thought of it first? Yeah, that series of like Nolan playing with his son. I'm like, oh, it's so cute. It's so adorable. Because you can see in their facial expressions of like, yeah, that's your kid. Like, that's your son. Yeah, you're the same. Like, you can't deny that that's not your kid. Like, nope, that's your son. Like, yes.
They have the
definitely.
same gamer face. That's so
Yes,
funny.
they do. It's so
They do.
adorable. Yeah. And like David was talking about with his kid, like it reminds me of when I would play Super Mario with my dad, and we had a bet going of every life that you lost was $1. So never got any money because we would just
Wow.
lose lives at random levels, and it would be great because it'd just be a fun time.
Those are some gaming
be a lot
fakes
of
that I
fun.
never did.
Oh, it was fun.
God.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun.
It's a
It was
good
also
way
the
to earn
90s.
money.
Oh yeah, like
Put the cheat code in and be like God mode and be like,
Uh-huh.
I don't know if Super Mario All Stars had cheat codes.
probably didn't.
Not that I
Yeah,
remember.
we're talking old. Yeah,
Google
old-
it.
Well, that was like remastered Mario for
Right.
the time.
I had the Super Mario All Stars on the Super Nintendo, and I don't know if it
Yeah.
was meant to have it or not, but on a certain game, if we press select, it automatically went through the different suits you could collect rather than picking up the item in game. You could just automatically do it. So I don't know if it was bugged out or something, but it came in quite handy when you were playing it.
That's true.
This is like free
That's
item mode
true.
on the Super Mario All Stars
yes.
for Super Nintendo.
Yes.
Yes.
Okay. See, now I had that game, but I never got to play it because it was bought for me by my grandfather who lives in Germany, and then he mailed it to me. But it was the European version of the
Ow.
game. Yeah, so it didn't work on my American Nintendo back when they were region coded. So
Yeah.
I never got to play it. I just got to look at it and go, oh.
It was such a nice sentiment.
Oh yeah, I was really happy at first.
Shame. At first.
At first.
Oh,
All right.
yeah.
Aw. It's so sad. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh man.
So we
Uh.
also have it on here about asking you guys if you have a question for Retro Replay cast or crew.
The only thing I can think of is, Drew, what is with your internet? Like, do you need help? What?
Do
Like,
you
we
need
can
help?
help you. Because, Jesus, why? Just, it's
It's hyper.
okay.
If you've ever talked to
I-
Drew, he's always concerned about bandwidth too. He's like, if you've got the bandwidth,
Yeah. Like,
No, it's funny because like on the members or on the Q&A, he was like,
he
Drew,
kept coming in and out. He just,
yeah, it's powered by a hamster in a wheel. And I was
Yep.
like, it's not a hamster, it's Piper. It's Piper, his
Piper.
pug. And then gets distracted by
That-
it.
it gets tuckered out.
She just sits down, yeah. And then it just stops working. Drew just freezes.
I'm like, there's no way you can still have dial-up. Like, that has since passed on. We have moved forward from
Maybe he
that. So,
does.
we'll never
We'll
know.
never know. We'll find out. I'll get the
Drama
answer.
Cool.
help Drew get some new internet
Help
today.
Drew. get better
That's what the
internet.
soup is for. The soup is just to help
Yes.
Drew get more bandwidth.
Yes.
So everyone give more
Oh,
soup
yes.
for Drew's internet.
Yeah,
Please.
that's it.
Pretty please.
right, so-
Please.
This one's a little bit more of a gaming segment now, talking about your history with games. Jen, you've probably answered a few of these before, but we'll touch on them again just because the more you can tell us, the better. And the first question is your introduction to gaming. So what would be like your first platform, your first game that you ever played that you can remember? And I'm going to go right back to you, Jen.
So I was introduced to hand-me-downs, essentially, of Atari and ColecoVision.
Mm.
And just remember, I don't remember the title, but it was a game where you flew a plane, you were in the air, and you knew the level changed because the screen changed color. And I forgot if you were like shooting things or getting things, but just seeing that happen on a screen and just move around the different things. I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Granted, I didn't have that for very long. So then because my dad saw my interest in it, and then if anyone remembers, the very old handhelds, and I'm not talking Game Boy.
The Tiger?
I'm talking the Tiger, the Tiger
Tigers.
ones that you had to really get good lighting to see the little pixels move around. Yeah, that I had
Yeah,
like
the
two of
Tiger
those.
Electronics handheld gaming units. Pagan.
Yes, that was before
I'm
Those are coming back.
Game Boy.
Those are
I
coming
know.
back.
I know. Gotta love.
I
gotta
used to
love
have a bunch
nostalgia.
of
those.
Mhm.
Yes,
I didn't
had-
have them, but I so remember those. I think my friends had them at school.
Yes,
I had a
about
few
Oh!
of those when I was a kid. I had a
Yes.
Ninja Gaiden one when I was a kid, and I was obsessed with it. I liked it more than
I
the
was just
actual
looking at
game.
because the game was that you
hard.
wanted to
Oh.
break things. Yes.
Mm.
My God.
But then because my dad saw that I was interested and I liked school, so I was good at school. He bought me, and I want to say I was 6 or 7, Super Nintendo with Super Mario All-Stars that came with it, with 2 controllers.
Oh, nice.
So that was the introduction of just going into gaming. And I'm a huge Nintendo fan, just absolutely love Nintendo. But then, the introduction of the PlayStation, the introduction of Xbox, I'm like, oh, okay,
yeah.
so there's more expansion of gamings. And then
Of
like
course.
a little bit of PC, but I'm talking like the floppy disk PC, like
Oh,
Carmen
old
San
school.
Diego,
Mhm.
Carmen San Diego, Oregon Trail, like a lot of educational games, because they were showing that you could do interactive games, but also teach kids
Hmm.
stuff. So that was also really, really interesting about
My
gaming.
earliest memory of educational games was Oregon Trail and the Q*bert that was math with numbers.
Yes. Yeah. And then the thing is now, and it's funny because I mentioned this last year, with my job now that I do, which is social work, I get to speak to children and families because a lot of children, they play different games, but also kind of tying that gaming thing into, well, this is something parents and kids can bond over. And especially with certain issues that they go through, certain stressful events, for some could be traumatic events, that they can use this thing of video gaming to kind of just bond and relate to each other and kind of like keep that bond going between parent and kid. And it's really, really fun to have those conversations and see them kind of like, oh, okay, I can actually use this as like another way to have that relationship with kids. So that's just really, really rewarding, I would say.
Nice.
Oh, that's a really nice bit of insight. Thank you.
Oh, yes.
Oh.
David, how about you? What is your introduction to gaming?
We have to go back nearly 4 decades.
Way back.
Yeah, way back to the very early 80s. Probably my dad really got me into it. We've always had things in the house, but the sort of first sort of video game or computer that I can remember, and none of you will have ever heard of this computer before, but we used to have a computer, a Dragon 32. It was Dragon 32. It was a little computer that was built in Wales. Games came on cassettes and things like that, and we had hundreds of games for that, playing things like Manic Miner, a game called Jet Set Willy, Donkey Kong, really, really old games.
This is exciting. So was this Dragon 32 a console?
No, it was a computer. It had a keyboard.
That sounds like a Commodore 64.
Similar, yeah.
Yeah, so it's like a unit with a keyboard built into it, and there's a slot for cartridges to go into it.
So you hooked that up to a TV?
It hooked up to a TV or a monitor or something like that. Games came on little cassettes, like you'd put in a Walkman back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
Play games.
That's some real retro action.
Yeah, and I think before that, which obviously I would have been too young to remember, I think my dad would have had like the earliest stuff that Pong came out on that had the games all built in with the controller that used to have to twist to move.
Like a twist dial, right?
Yeah. But obviously I was too young to remember that, but I do sort of retrospectively remember playing on it later on. And then sort of that got me into technology. I've always loved gaming and things like that. I've owned most of the systems, well, the bigger systems over the years. I did actually collect them at one point, but finances over the years meant I had to sell them off. I remember doing a paper round and buying my Sega Mega Drive out of my own money, saved £5 a week every week until I had £190 and went off to the shop, put my money on counter, bought it. And because I earned that money myself, I appreciated the product more.
Oh, yeah. I went through
a
similar
That's so
thing.
cool.
Yeah.
So I had things like so sort of after, sort of before then, we sort of moved on to like the Spectrums. If you've ever heard of the Spectrum computer,
I've heard of it before.
Okay.
Yeah, more powerful than the Dragon, but maybe not as good as the Commodore 64. Again, games had to come on tape, and you had to have a separate tape recorder.
I'm just watching Pagan now at this point. Like, she's clearly Googling everything you're saying.
I've Googled it, and it looks much better. You're so right. It's like more concise. It looks prettier. It's got a little rainbow on the side. I'm like, I'm digging it. It looks great.
So the first console I had was my Sega Mega Drive. Then my parents bought me and my brother a Super Nintendo. And then after that, obviously, we were earning our own money. We had the Sega Saturn. I had a Dreamcast. So you can see a bit of a scene that back in the 90s, I was a bit of a Sega fanboy. I absolutely loved my Dreamcast. It was a console ahead of its time.
I'm like,
and then
like that Dreamcast that I have.
That
I also saved up for and bought with my own money. It was one of the first consoles I bought myself.
So I had one of them. That's the only console, the Dreamcast, that I pre-ordered and queued up at stupid o'clock.
What was the first game you got with it?
I bought most of the release games.
Oh, okay.
Wow.
I can't remember.
I know I got Sonic Adventure, Power Stone.
Yeah, I've got Power Stone. I had.
I want to say
There was
Dynamite Cop.
Oh,
I think that was a bit later
There
on.
was a-
I possibly had it. There was a really, really bad game called Blue Razor or something like that, but I can't remember
Blue
the title. It's
Stinger?
that bad.
Blue
That's
Stinger.
it, yeah, Blue Stinger.
Because it was like a
Oh.
Resident Evil ripoff. I remember
Yeah.
that game.
Terrible.
Oh.
yeah.
I think I still have it. Hang
Um,
on. Let me go get my Dreamcast game.
So then, actually, I moved on to PC gaming. Because I got a PC when I went to college to do sort of IT stuff. So got into PC gaming, played competitively PC gaming. Even with a young baby, I used to put her to bed for 7 and straight onto PC to be playing league matches against other teams for one particular first-person shooter on the
Which
PC,
was...
Day of Defeat.
Oh, okay.
Oh.
Interesting.
Nice.
I know the
Love
game,
that
but I
game.
never
You
played that
played
one.
that competitively? Day of Defeat?
Not professional, but
Like,
in leagues.
Just
So
competitively in
Oh.
leagues and
Gotcha.
stuff. Oh, that's so cool.
yeah.
Nice. I used to do that with
So,
Halo way back when, in like the early days of Halo on the Xbox.
And then sort of PC gaming just became too expensive once I sort of got married and stuff to keep up to date all the time. So I went back to console gaming and PS3, PS4, Vita. Currently saving up for a PS5.
Nice.
Yeah, same, buddy.
Yeah.
Saving.
Got
So,
that pre-order ready. Whenever it comes.
I have a long history of playing games. I remember as a kid, back with the Spectrums, I used to spend Sunday afternoons typing in loads of codes. That magazines used to give you codes for games that you could create yourself.
I used to have a
Spend
folder
hours
or like a
typing it
notebook
in.
of codes that I got out of magazines and stuff back in the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spend hours typing it in, then hours finding out where you'd gone wrong.
Like, wait, what was this? No, I could have sworn I wrote a 2, but it was really an S stamp. All right, fine. Yes, that moment. Yeah. Oh, God. So many memories.
Oh, Jen, you crack me up.
I'm just saying, like that, like gaming, and it still is today.
Yeah.
You just get so invested in what you're playing. If you could find any little advantage, and we're not talking Game Sharks, okay? We're not talking Game Sharks.
Nope.
Yeah. But like if you could find any little advantage to kind of get through a very hard game, you just do it and try to find something that would get you to that next step or that next level.
I've used little glitches in the Uncharted games to skip complete sections.
I've heard that the glitches are some of the best ways to finish Uncharted on the hardest difficulties.
Yeah, I mean, the Varovich boss, you can basically just stand there and he'll pick you up and you do something and then he drops you. And rather than running around and all that,
you just let him grab you over and over again.
Just let him grab you. And then there's one section which I think is in Uncharted 1, the bit where you're outside sort of the church and there's loads of snipers. Basically, the aim is just to get in the church. And if you just run up the steps, it triggers a cutscene and you don't have to mess about with all the snipers and stuff.
Oh my god!
And that was one bit Nolan was really bad at.
We're going to see a lot of this when they do the speed run with Anthony Caliber. I bet you that's what we're going to be seeing is him skipping entire segments and Nolan just being like, I didn't know you could do that.
For sure, because I think like they did a little bit of that in The Last of Us, right? The first one where he would find glitches. Or click this. So I think there's way more of those in Uncharted. And I've seen people like, people are on the fucking, I get them. So they're on YouTube and they're like, oh, speedrun Uncharted 3, 35 minutes. And I'm like, get the fuck out of here. You paid, what? 35 minutes? And they're just skipping, they're walking right off the map, coming back in and triggering a cutscene. And I'm like, that's not a speed run, that's cheating. Like, I was like, that's not, you're just glitching out. And they're like, no, it is speedrun because it's cat. And I'm like,
I think that was like, I came across a similar thing where it was somebody beats Legend of Zelda Link to the Past in like a minute or something, or 2 minutes. What? And like they did something similar where they go to like the first area in the game is the castle where you start the game normally, but there's a glitch that you can skip to the final boss cutscene and then end the game and it's over. And I'm like,
Yeah.
that's not playing the game. Like,
That's not a speed run. It's just
you can legitimately beat the Far Cry games without doing anything.
if you're talking about Far Cry 4, yes.
What do you mean?
Yeah.
The ending, you can get to Far Cry 4's ending
I think
without doing
3
anything.
might have that. I think 3
4,
has
Without
that. I
doing
remember.
5.
Yeah, you just sit there.
Yep.
Just sit there.
Yep. You know,
And
okay.
just let it.
Oh,
So
5
Pagan-
has
Wait,
the same
hold
thing
up.
too. 5 has the
Yes.
same exact thing.
Basically, when it starts, the bad guy gives the protagonist
Pagan Min.
an option.
Yes.
Basically,
that guy.
So basically you can do A or B, and if you basically choose to
Mhm.
sort of do what the bad guy wants you to do, which is do nothing,
Yep.
after so many minutes, the titles roll and you've beaten the game.
Yeah.
essentially.
Yeah.
That's brilliant.
Have you played that one? Have you played Far Cry 4, Pagan?
I've never played any Far Cry, although like
Okay.
anytime it's very funny.
Okay.
Like anytime I've been on like a stream or whatever, and Troy Baker's in the stream, and they're like, oh, you know, they're talking about Pagan Min, the character, and they just keep typing Pagan rather than Min, like Pagan
Yeah.
Min. They just
Oh.
say Pagan. I'm like, why is everybody calling me out for? What do you guys want? Why are you talking to me? And then I realized whatever he's saying, he's talking about Far Cry, and I was like,
Right.
oh, you guys are talking about character. And then anybody who's talking to me, they're like, oh yeah, isn't it amazing? Because they assume I'm a fan of the game.
And that's why your name is Pagan.
My username is Pagan Plays because I'm taking that from Pagan Min. And I was like, no, that's just my name. Sorry, like I've never played that game, but now I feel like I have to, and I'm just gonna choose the wrong thing. And I'm
No, it's not even a
that's
choice
amazing.
thing.
It's gonna do. That's my Twitch channel. I'll be like, hey guys, it's gonna do a very special episode today where
I'm
I'm
gonna do
gonna
a
play
speed run.
Far Cry 4. I'm gonna do speed run Far Cry 4.
That would be
I'm just gonna
interesting.
Fucking sit there and wait
Yeah.
for it to credits roll.
Yeah.
Like, thanks everybody for coming. It's been amazing.
This is how you
Yes.
get that ending, Pagan. You hit start on the game and you watch the cutscene, and then when the game lets you play, you don't move.
You don't move. Yeah.
And then Pagan Min will leave, and he says, and that's when you're supposed to get up and leave and play the game. But if you don't,
Okay.
he comes back and it goes into another cutscene where the game ends and it's over.
Perfect. I'm
Yeah.
going. Is that 4 or 5?
4.
4. And Pagan, since you mentioned usernames, that has happened to me also in the Ruby fandom. So people are like, oh, I thought you were like a fan of they call it a ship, Bumblebee ship, that you want Blake and Yang to get together. I'm like, no, BX stands for the Bronx. And I'm just a huge Yang Xiaolong fan. But
also,
I've had to explain
Blake
that to
and
a lot of
Yang,
people.
though. Like, but on a side note, also
you
Blake
know,
and Yang.
I'm like, it's canon now, so I'm like, okay, cool.
You saw it coming before anybody else did. That's what it was. You created that canon.
Not really. A lot of people were shipping that. You know, they're cool on like the
This is getting real
LGBT
weeb
stuff.
real fast, so.
I know.
Weeby.
Get there. I get there. Can't speak a lick of Japanese.
Yeah.
I just feel
But-
bad for David because he's completely lost. me.
I know.
That's all
But
I got.
it's on the thing. It's on the thing of like you create a username and you're like, okay, I know exactly what this username means because I'm making it. And then someone else sees it and they're like, does it mean this? And like, oh no, it's just, that's not what it. Okay,
I get that
cool.
all that time.
Yeah,
Although somebody Japanese did pop into my stream once and they started
Oh.
writing in kanji, and I was like, hi, I don't speak Japanese, but all I know is like hajimemashite, which is like nice to meet you. And then he like put up kanji characters that meant hajimemashite. So he was saying it back, and I was like, I speak Japanese now. I'm a wee. Hajimemashite.
I think that's it. I think everyone's got a story about the usernames that they use and stuff.
Yeah.
You know, I use Snoopius for all my handles.
What's the story
wherever.
behind Snoopius?
Going back again to the late 90s, a girl that I worked with at the time, who later became my girlfriend at the time, thought I walked like Snoopy. So she called me Snoop. And then back, it was sort of around the time when Gladiator movie came out, and the character was called Maximus, and everyone had IUS at the end of the online handles. So I just put iOS and it's
Yes.
stuck ever
Snoopy-us.
since.
That's brilliant.
That
I love
is
that.
cute. That's so
I
cute.
love the fact that you walk like Snoopy. Like you've got some
Apparently.
swag if you're walking like Snoopy. Like it's just
Now I just think of Snoopy as a gladiator. Like he's
Yeah.
just dressed as a gladiator saying, "Are you not entertained?" And then goes back for a nap.
That's
like,
in
I'm
the
gonna go
director's
now.
cut. That should have been in like a different cut of the movie.
The Peanuts cut.
The Peanuts cut. That'd be so good.
Special version of Gladiator. Russell
Yeah, with
Crowe,
Snoop.
take a seat. Snoopy's got this.
Yeah.
Snoopy
Yeah,
got
you're not gonna be needed for a while. Snoopy's got
Yes, absolutely. Yes.
So,
Oh,
massive
yes.
tangent aside, I was going to say this next question is probably very easy to answer. Do you have a preferred platform that you like to game on?
Yep. Well, I've never had an Xbox, so after moving
But you
away
do
from,
PC game, though, too, right?
I do have a Windows XP machine that
Oh,
I
okay.
built.
Never
in
mind.
I built that machine
Well.
in 2007,
Okay.
and I
Okay.
don't power it on anymore.
Mm.
So yeah, PlayStation. Not that I've got anything against Xbox. It's just friends I had at the time had PlayStation, so that's what I got.
Oh, yeah.
I do like Sea of Thieves though on
Oh,
the
yeah.
Xbox.
Sea of Thieves is
Okay.
awesome.
I've never played Sea of Thieves. I want to try that though.
I play it on the laptop.
What was that, Pagan?
You played that recently on your stream?
Yes, we're actually
Never played
getting
it before.
back into playing Sea of Thieves again too, and we're trying to get to like a whole crew, like pirate crew, together and play it. It's also available on Windows 10 PC, so you can
Yes.
play Sea of Thieves cross-platform with Xbox as well.
Yeah, it's the sort of only Xbox exclusive that's really ever grabbed my interest, to be honest. I've never been a Halo fan. I played it on the PC. Didn't see what the fuss was about at the time.
I
So
would agree.
never-
I think like sometimes the Xbox exclusives don't really get me, but like slowly actually Gears is pretty good and it's
Gears is
getting me.
awesome.
And I'm like, Gears
Yeah.
is great. So I can't wait to play all those. So.
I recently had Brandy try and play Gears 2, and like we played for the first 2 levels of Gears 1, first 3 levels, and I was like, okay, let's take a break, and she was literally like, why?
It's good, isn't it? Like we've
Yes.
we've done like
Yes.
co-op for Gears 1 and then we started Gears 2 co-op as well. It's
Ah.
like such an addictive game.
Oh yeah.
Do you think
Yes.
it lost anything once sort of Epic sold it to Microsoft though and ceased to be involved with it?
I mean, it's a little different, but I still enjoy the newer ones because they kind of like keep the spirit alive. They've changed up the story a bit, but it still feels like Gears. Like I haven't had any issue.
That'll be on my list of many games I must catch up with because I have too many. Damn, my first love's always gonna be Nintendo. I for the life of me, I can't explain why. I just really love Nintendo games. So like Mario, Kirby, Pokemon, Zelda, all of that.
I think it's funny that sometimes we ask people what their preferred platform is, and some people don't even think about Nintendo.
I know. Nintendo was kicking ass for a good while.
Correction.
Then
Nintendo is still kicking ass because everybody owns a PlayStation and a Switch, or an Xbox and a Switch.
No, see, they came back. They came back with the 1-2 punch with the Switch because they're like, this is a joke. And then people got it. They're like, oh, damn. It's handheld and you put it on the TV. Oh, my, mind blown. That's it. So
I don't have a PS4 and a Switch. I have a PS4 and a Wii.
Yeah.
See, well, they're still winning.
Still,
Nintendo is still in your house.
I still have my Super Nintendo, the OG one. I have the first Nintendo 64. I have a Game Boy somewhere in my house. And then I'm eventually gonna get the Switch at some point. But I know I've dabbled in like everything. Like I've gotten to play Xbox, PlayStation, which I really like, PC gaming. So it's hard to say for me what is my preferred choice. Like if there's a good game, I'm in it. I'll get it.
Yeah, that's
Like,
fair.
I will play
game
it.
per platform.
I will tell you my
Yeah.
struggle of having everything. Like I have PlayStation 4, I have Xbox One, I have PC. Like I am constantly paralyzed by choice. So it's
First
almost
world problems, Jen.
it's almost better that you can focus on like one console, so you don't have to
True.
worry about everything else. Like you can go, oh,
That's
that looks
true.
cool. I wish I could play that, but that's as far as it goes.
Mm.
So,
That's
See,
yeah, first world
I am
problems for sure.
I am the free to play affordable gamer,
Mm.
so I will look for sales.
I mean, I
Unless
buy games
it's
on
like
sale
Good way
all
to
the
play
time.
it.
I'm
Yeah.
just saying, because
I've got a huge backlog.
Oh yeah,
me too.
massive backlog.
Same.
Listen, I just finished Assassin's Creed Origins, the main story,
Mm.
because I was too invested in the story that I forgot I had to go to work the next day. So I was like, oh yeah. But it was so good, and I'm so happy I finished it. Like, to me, it is a mind-blowing story to me. So
These games are that, although I like the look of them, I will deliberately not buy because I do not have time. So I've never played The Witcher because it's 400 hours to do everything. I haven't got time for that, so I don't start.
Yeah.
I haven't played like the sort of later Assassin's Creeds have sort of grown in size because I just don't have the time.
Yeah,
So
I
I
actually
tend
was
to
doing
play-
the same thing with Assassin's Creed, Odyssey. I wanted Odyssey, but I heard that the game is really long, and I was like, I don't have the time for that. And I did actually end up buying it because I got it on sale at a really good price. So I have it. There it sits in my backlog. One day, maybe.
yeah.
One day.
One day.
I've only ever played sort of one Assassin's Creed game to the end, which is Black Flag.
That's a good
I
one.
played the original, but I just kept getting sidetracked by icons on the map. Oh, what's that? Go over there. I just never played the actual story missions. And I got halfway through the Unity, because that was an early PlayStation 4, Xbox One.
That was filled with bugs and nobody likes to talk about that Unity. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah, that one.
Although,
Although,
hush, Jennifer, Jesus.
although, because of what it has gotten more a spike in interest because of like the look of Notre Dame or Notre Dame, however you pronounce it, people. Just that you get to see like the inside, you get to see the outside architecture. So that game has actually gotten back up in popularity because of like that.
The map of Paris is accurate.
Yes.
Completely accurate.
They
So cool.
apparently they actually provided the when Notre Dame burnt down. Apparently
I've heard that.
gave them all their data to help rebuild it. Apparently,
I heard that.
Yeah,
that's cool. It's really cool.
It's very
one of my favorite franchises ever.
On that note, do you have a favorite game?
Jennifer's like, no, gnaw your head. Go, no, there's too much choice. Like,
there's too
Yes,
many.
That is a very difficult question. If you can narrow it down, you may say a few. If you want to just
Top five.
Okay,
go for it.
Super Mario, Sonic, Zelda, Pokemon, and Street Fighter.
Pokemon, yes.
Yes.
I don't think we've had a Pokemon before. That's awesome.
Yes.
Street Fighter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
all right.
Which fun story. My mother, who doesn't like video games at all, didn't understand them, was just like, I don't get this. Like, she loves books. Absolutely, like, huge reader, books on top of books. Games was like, what? So I put Street Fighter in because it was a rental. We rented games. Because I guess the newer games were expensive for the day, but again, you're talking 90s. So bought Street Fighter. Mom's like, what's this? I was like, oh, this is like a 2-player fighting game, Mom. Like, you want to try? So she tries. She picks up Ryu. She puts that one on.
Okay.
Beats me every time. Just by button mashing. She beats me every time. And then she really likes that game. Who are you using? I used Chun-Li, I used Blanca, I used Ken, I used M. Bison. I think I went through the roster.
Okay. Every other character.
Yeah, and she would beat me every time.
I was waiting for you to be like, I was using Dalsim, like the super slow guy that does like the stretchy arm attacks. Like, you're gonna get beat.
No, I went through like the roster of like my favorite characters to my least favorite, and she would still beat me. She would beat me. I was like, oh. And then she's like, I really like this game. I'm like,
Of course.
because you win every time. I just that was something. Yeah, good memories.
Now
Good
I wonder
memories.
if David's gonna have a consistent bing bang boom like that.
It's very difficult to tie it down. I think my all-time favorite series is the Monkey Island point and click LucasArts games.
Very interesting.
I love those. I can go back and play them
Pagan Google
over and over again.
Sorry.
I saw it on her face as soon as
I've
you
never
said
seen
Monkey
it.
Island.
I'm
She was like,
Well, I believe the Ron Gilbert, who wrote Monkey Island, got the idea from the Disney ride Pirates of the Caribbean, which apparently, obviously, the ride was out way before the films.
Oh yeah.
And then apparently the game Monkey Island was used as sort of inspiration towards the film Pirates of the Caribbean, apparently.
That's funny.
Oh my god, it looks so cool.
It's
It's like a hand-drawn point and click adventure game.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm
I love it.
I'm back in the day they came on 3.5-inch floppy disks, and you'd have a pile of them.
Yep.
I had actually
And
never.
then floppy disks would destroy the world, and all the like the original cartoons where they're like destroy the world. This is one floppy disk.
I've only ever played that game after it got ported to Xbox 360 and PS3.
Well, the special editions.
Yeah, that's the first time I played that, and I was like,
"Yeah,
what is this?"
I'm gonna
find
find
it very
this and
interesting.
download it. It looks good.
Some of the other games I've liked. I like the Streets of Rage series.
Yes.
Have you played the new one?
Such a good game.
I've not yet, but it's on my list of. I'll probably wait till it's on a sale and I'll try grab it. But yeah, I love that game. I got the second one for Christmas once, but my brother found out where my mum and dad were hiding it, so we used to sneak in, get it, play it when they weren't ahead, and put it. So by the time Christmas came, we'd sort of already played it, completed it.
My friend did the same thing. I think it was with Metal Gear. He found the game while his parents were out and like put it in, cleared it, put it back, repackaged it, and opened it again on Christmas. I was like, well, like, what is the point? But yeah, that's exactly what he did. And like, just played it again on Christmas Day. I was like, yes, I can't wait to like open this because he already knew what was happening.
Can't say I've never done that before.
Yeah.
Take a drink.
I've never done that.
Never have I ever.
I've never opened a present earlier than I was supposed to, unless I was told to.
Really?
I have. Yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm like, oh, I'll open it whenever. Unless someone was like, "Do you want to open it now? Do you want to open it? I think you should open it." And I'm like, okay, if you say so.
Okay.
If you don't open it now, the puppy's gonna suffocate.
Right.
Yeah, true.
Open it or a puppy dies. Pagan, you monster.
Dead puppy. Under my Christmas tree. What is this? It smells. Why aren't there any holes in it? Like, oh well.
Oh no.
Moving on from that awfulness.
Yeah.
To clarify, that never happened. I never got a dog for Christmas.
Segue, please. Oh my god.
Hurry up and pivot. All right, so next question, a little bit more on retro replay side of things. What would you like to see them play on the show? Ideally in a proper setting, back on the couch in the basement. Nolan with a guest, hopefully. Do you have any old classic gem or just a favorite game you would love to see played on the show?
I'd like to see them go back and play a Dreamcast game that I used to love, Choo Choo Rocket multiplayer. Okay. I think Nolan would. Yeah, it's absolutely crazy, and I think Nolan would rage quit because I don't think he'd know what the hell's going on.
Nice. Do you think there'd be anyone good to play that with him, like maybe Cooper or any particular guest you would just like to see on the show?
I don't know. Definitely Cooper. I don't know. Maybe Liam if he.
Liam, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Liam would be good for that too.
Dude.
And how about you, Jen?
I still want them to play Battletoads Double Dragon. They should still play that game.
They should.
Battletoads
They
Double
should-
Dragon. Is
Yes.
this an amalgamation of the two before that you said this?
Yes. So I had seen them play Battletoads separately, and then they played
Mhm.
Double Dragon separately. Which yes, those games exist separately. But the game I played that introduced me to both worlds at once was Battletoads Double Dragon.
Yeah.
You can play as either a Battletoad or one of the Double Dragons, and you're doing it's like a combination of the levels of both games,
Mhm.
and it's super fun and probably rage quitty, but
Yeah.
you'll
I
have
haven't heard that
fun
game is
playing
amazing.
either or. Yes, you'll have fun playing either or, and it's a
Yeah.
lovely co-op game.
That would be
That's a
another.
good idea.
Maybe Liam do that one with Nolan too.
Yeah, yeah, or Todd. Get Todd
Oh,
in
yeah,
there too.
Todd in there.
Yes.
That's funny, man. They're both really funny. Can't wait for them to
Yes.
join Retro Replay.
There are
Todd's good.
so many inside jokes. I want to let the replayer community know right now.
Yeah.
Be
Get
prepared.
Good is full of inside jokes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Sorry.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
And
Yeah,
it's,
dude.
I don't want to jump the gun, but they were talking about doing Fall Guys, and I've seen Liam playing
Yeah.
Fall Guys, and he hates it.
He does.
He hates
But
it.
he's also nice about hating it.
Yeah.
He's the nicest rage quitter I've ever seen.
I think the problem is I think he likes it. You know what I mean? He actually
Maybe,
likes it, but
yeah.
he hates it on the outside. Like it's a frustrating game, but he can't help himself. He's addicted now.
Yeah.
I'm sure that's what most people are going through with
Yeah,
Fall Guys.
yeah.
Yeah.
You can't not play it, and you
Honestly,
no matter how
Stop.
upset you get.
I gotta
Yeah.
say, I was playing Fall Guys the other day, and I was like, okay, well, let me see, if I can get through a couple of these levels, and I was doing so well until it's always one of these levels, and I fucking hate them so much. It's either grab the tail because I'm
Oh, yeah.
shit
I
at
hate
that,
those ones.
Yeah.
grab the tail or grab something, and I'm like,
Mhm.
or the team challenges. So the football
Oh,
one, or
yes.
you're on a color of a team, and you have to put all the balls in your basket or whatever, and you're like,
Yeah.
no, okay. I like the worldly gig. I'm good at that one. I can actually pass that one.
Mhm.
Or the doors. Those are great. I can't do any other level. I suck at everything, including Seesaw. I think I got Seesaw maybe twice.
Oh,
I always hate the
You
tail
cannot
grabbing
do-
ones.
Yeah, I don't like the team games, and I cannot for the life of me do slime climb. I just
I've never been able to do slime climb ever. I've never been able to pass that.
I've only failed that one once, and I always get done. The tail grabbing ones always get me because every time I play that, I can't grab the tail. Doesn't matter what happens.
I can't grab the tail either.
I'm
No.
it says press R2 to grab the tail, and I'm running around, I'm chasing a guy with the tail, and my guy won't grab the tail off him, but he'll turn around and grab another dude that's running past me that
Yeah.
doesn't have a tail, and I'm like,
It's a delay. It's the actual mechanics of the game are delay. When you jump, it's a slight delay. When you do anything, there's a slight delay. So you're like, oh, fuck, so it's really
yeah.
you gotta hone that system.
So good luck with that.
Let's
that a
have
game-
Nolan play it.
Is that
Let's
a
have
game
Nolan
that
play Fall Guys.
that you wanted to see on the show? I mean, you had Dreamcast and you had the Battletoads Double Dragon.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Are you guys excited for the Fall Guys? Because we know that is actually coming now. We have a
Yeah,
Fall
Oh
Guys.
yeah.
I think I mentioned it to you, Pagan, somewhere that I think it'd be really good watching them play.
Mm.
Yeah.
Even if it's just a one-off, not a series, just
Yeah.
playing Fall Guys.
It will be a rage quit game.
Honestly,
I'm
For sure.
calling it now.
I feel like
Calling
that'll
it now.
be the sweet spot when they do one off or maybe a couple episodes
Yeah.
of them playing certain
Yeah.
games like Fall Guys or
Yeah.
something like that.
Mhm.
And just to let's kind of segue and roll right on into that, the Retro Replay Uncharted Live chat that we got this week. That's where they confirmed that's some of the new things they're working on. Nolan mentioned that they're getting a little burned out on the
Father
Legos,
Knows Best
the
Lego
Star
one.
The
Wars, yeah.
Legos, yeah.
And that's understandable. The games are pretty repetitive. You do the same thing over and over. And I think I still look forward to them
Yes.
playing future Lego games. But the future Lego games are less hard to stay with, I think. I think Star Wars
Yeah.
especially because it's very long. There's 6 movies to get through.
Yeah.
That's a lot to do. So
Yeah.
we kind of just asked, you guys are excited for them to play Fall Guys and hopefully some other future projects, which makes me want to ask, is there something else like Fall Guys or just any other multiplayer game you think would be fun to watch them play?
mean, I would say if we're going like Father Knows Best, like Cooper and Nolan, I would love to see them try a round or two at Keep Talking and Nobody Explodes. I know they've played it on the channel before, but let me see how a father and son do it. Yeah, let me see how a father and son do it. I'm really interested in knowing. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a great idea, actually. I think virtual replay would be great coming back to that dynamic. Cooper and Nolan in virtual replay. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. We've had a few people ask about virtual replay to come back, and I think that's a good idea. Sorry, go ahead, David.
For sure.
Yeah, I can't really. We've not been a massive multiplayer sort of gamer nowadays. I'm not really
not necessarily multiplayer, even co-op. You know, something for Cooper and Nolan to play together. Cooper or Nolan.
Actually, I'd like to see them do A Way Out.
Oh, that's a good
one. A Way Out?
Yeah.
Yes, that's a co-op game too.
Actually, I've had people recommend to me play Way Out with Brandy a lot. So same kind of concept. It's a strictly co-op built game about two prisoners escaping from jail.
Yes.
That'd be so good.
Yeah, and like it's all built around co-op, like working together.
Yep. Ooh, that would be a good one. So, I suggested recently Overcooked. I'd love to see Overcooked.
Yes.
That's such a great game.
Good one.
It's a good rage quitty game if you don't communicate well. Especially, I mean, can you imagine if like after COVID and everything, and they had more guests on the show, because you could have up to 4. Like that'd be great. Everybody just freak the fuck out trying to play this game.
Yes,
I think that'd be cool.
Oh yeah,
good multiplayer.
Good multiplayer.
That'd be good. So also in the Uncharted live Q&A, they disclosed the new store. They've got a new Retro Replay merch store with some new stuff on there to get. Some new shirts that you can pre-order, which are pretty cool looking. The new hat. There was a mug signed by everybody, which is
signed
cool.
mug by by everybody.
I'm trying to remember what else I saw on there now. I'm kind of blanking.
They still have the pin. They still have some of the former merch that's kind of left over. So if anyone wants to pick that up, they can. So that's pretty cool.
So hopefully that'll help them too, because it looks like they're kind of taking ownership of the merch store again from the looks of it.
Yes, they are.
Yes. Thank you. Yes. Yes.
So,
Yep. It's very exciting.
They also mentioned that we're going to get a speed run of Uncharted 3 with Mr. Anthony Caliber, which we already kind of touched on a bit. So that'll be fun to see too. Like we said, I'm sure there'll be lots of Nolan, like, holy shit, like, didn't know you could do that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
I'm telling, it's gonna all be glitches. I just know, like, they're just gonna be like the glitches in the game that you can find, and Nolan will be like, "Wait, what? You could do that? Amy, no."
Well, it's like
why anybody tell me?
Like that Last of Us one where there was a part where you're supposed to wait for a character to go. Was it David to go through the door? But if you pull your gun out, you can like walk through him or something, and you can get in front of him. Like, who would think to do that?
Who finds these things? Like, it's crazy.
You just speed run. When you want to speed run a game, you speed run a game. That's how it goes.
Very true.
For sure.
We also got Nolan answering a bunch of just random like voice acting questions and his experiences with games. Was there anything that stood out to you guys in that little event that we had, a little side one-off thing? Just how do you feel about that too? Like getting that little one-on-one with Nolan?
I think it's a good idea. I think it'd be nice if they did it more frequently. I know they might do sort of more stuff for members and things, but I think it's nice to have like a question and answers or an update for what they're planning to do for those people who are fortunate enough to be able to afford a membership and things like that, just so people know, what content's coming up and things like that, what the plans are. Obviously, I know those plans are probably quite fluid at the minute with COVID and still going on longer than what everyone expected. So I imagine the plans they do have are probably quite a lot of them are on hold until they can get back in the studio properly on a full-time basis. Plus, they have the cameras stolen, didn't they, a couple of weeks ago?
Hopefully, they've gotten new ones by now, replacing the cameras.
I think they're renting some at the moment, but I think, I don't know if they've replaced the other ones, but that's how they were doing it intermediately. They were just going to rent the cameras until they could, I presume insurance would cover whatever
Yeah.
they were insured for and get them replaced. So yeah.
Yeah.
But it hasn't stopped their content, which is all good, which is good
Yay.
news. We don't have to have breaking
Yay.
content, which is great.
Yes. Yeah. I did like how Nolan did like shout out subscribers. So for like the basically the screen names that are like just in general like grayed out or whatever, like he shouted some of them out, which I thought was really nice. That he's acknowledging like, yes, we have our members that pay, but there's also the subscribers that are just subscribed to the channel and they watch the content, they comment on the videos, they leave comments and all that. So I thought that was really nice for Nolan to do that. And like, yeah, like you guys are part of this community too. So that's really cool.
It was really nice to see everybody showed up. There was like 700 people in live at one point. The chat was going bananas. So banana.
Like what's slow mode? What is slow mode? I don't know.
Slow mode was on and it was still way too fast for me to keep up. I was like,
we break it every time. We break it
every time.
Which reminds me, Pagan.
I'd love to see them go up after over 1,000 like next time. I'd be like, yeah, come on, get up there.
We learned something pretty interesting with this too. We learned that Nolan knows how to read.
Nolan can read, yeah. As soon as he came on and he started reading the live chat, I was like, wait, Nolan can read? And like me and Dan were like bouncing off that, like, right? That's news to me. I didn't know that.
What?
No, me
it's
neither.
the glasses. It's the glasses. The glasses help.
It's the glasses. Well done.
I definitely
gotta say, man, I was cracking up in this episode. I was just cracking up. He just cracked me like every time. He'd make it crack up with the dogs or something, you know, or he'd do a voice. And I'm like, man, this guy's so funny. How did they get through any episodes? How did they get through a conversation with Nolan North and not crack up laughing? And the doggos, but that's all for me.
I was gonna shout the same thing, basically, just Nolan being Nolan on the spot and just the goofy silliness that is that man, and like like pointing out his dogs, and it's like the way he kept like looking back over his shoulder and pointing at the dog, and like then he made the joke about how, so I think it was Michelle said like, how do you stay so handsome or something? How are you so handsome? And he goes, oh, it's just smoke and mirrors. This is just CGI. I really look like that, and like pointing at the dog.
I just like when he was like, go get him, and the dog's just like listless.
Get the Guinness,
just like,
get the Guinness. No,
like go get it, boy. No, I thought that was so funny. I love the dog. I just think, yeah, Nolan cracks me up. I can't deal.
Yes.
It's cracking up in that episode.
He is
so
a
funny.
fun uncle.
He is a fun
uncle.
Speaking of fun uncles, we can talk about Uncle Noli.
Hey,
perfect segue. Thank you.
Good segue. Thank you. Sometimes.
So
sometimes
this week we had Uncle Noli boxers or briefs, which was another kind of like your standard length. Uncle Noli. We had 8 questions. Did you guys have any one of those questions that stood out to you, or if you need a minute to think about it, we can talk about ours.
Trying to find, because I always leave a comment on these videos. I always do.
Oh, that's cool.
I always do, because it's just a lot of the stuff is out of nowhere, and then some of the, like, he has his moments where he's heartfelt. He's very nice, and then he'll throw that last minute joke in there, and then some stuff is like just a straight joke. I'm like, oh my god, okay.
Yeah, it's the randomness of some of his answers.
Yes.
I think it was this episode about the guy asking a question was need a hand job.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
Don't we?
It's like you're good. You're good. Sure.
Dirty bird.
Yep.
That's what he said.
I was trying to decide if it was that one or another one that were like my favorite to the I need a hand jobs, and he's like, you and me both. And then like, how do I tell my significant other about my kinks? And he's like, I think you just did.
I think you just did. You're good. You're
dirty bird.
So good right now. Oh my god.
I loved the ultimate girls' night in. I thought that was so funny because that's exactly how we spend all of our girls' nights in. Just get a little kiddie pool and some oil. Every time the girls come over, we all get together.
I kept waiting for that to turn into like an Uncle Noli. Like, I mean, he basically did was like, can you just set up a webcam? Send me the link.
Send me the link. Yeah.
And then like I was hoping he'd be like, oh, you mean. And all of a sudden, like girls' night that you want, not what Uncle Noli wants. Okay.
Yeah.
No, because everybody wants that.
That's what everybody
Yeah.
wants. The girls especially.
The girls especially. That's what we do
'Cause
anyway.
you'll have
We
super
didn't know-
smooth
we
skin
just
afterwards,
didn't
right?
know. Yeah, we just didn't know that you guys wanted to see it.
Of course.
Clearly, that's what
We
have to do
needed
now.
we needed to tell you guys.
No. Yeah,
That's what we've been doing wrong all these years, Jennifer. We should have taped it. Fuck.
Oh.
David's like, I can't comment on this right now.
It's okay. Oh, it was definitely the Star Wars joke that he made in this one.
The Padawan.
I was like, okay, all right. But it was just like out of left field. Yeah. Oh, and actually, since we're bringing up Uncle Noli Knows, I really like the set. Like I really, really do.
Like the inside of an Italian restaurant kind of
yes.
thing. It looks like it's from the Bronx, right?
There's a famous one called Sardi's, but that's more with like the drawings. That's some for the life of me, I can't remember the person who does the famous drawings, but that's a big one here in New York. But it's more of like, because it's not just here in the Bronx, it's not in Little Italy, like for any location that has a huge Italian population or Italian American population, like that style of like the round table with the tablecloths, the brick wall, like specifically a brick wall, and then just hanging up famous people of that specific heritage is like a big thing. And I really like that style speaks to like that culture, which is really, really cool. Because I remember at one point he mentioned it and he went through each and every picture. I'm like,
right.
Oh my god,
and he did
that's
his
so
impressions
cool.
of each one of them.
Yes, I was like, oh, I love that.
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I was gonna say, shout out to, I believe it was Peaches that sent him the advice about an older girl dating a younger guy, and he does the whole like, teach the Padawan, teach him, and like the great edit by Stephanie of turning him into like a Jedi Master with a lightsaber.
Yes, that's so good.
Funny.
Steph crushes it with those edits.
I did like something he said on, I think it was the previous Uncle Noli about the helping to jack off a horse, which was on.
Yeah, would you help your uncle jack off a horse? Yeah,
yeah.
It was a well phrased question. That was excellent.
Bravo.
Very clever wording.
Whoever asked that question.
Oh
yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
It's just nice that it comes every Tuesday. Well, Tuesday, United States time. It's probably in the future elsewhere. Yes, time zones. Like it's nice that it comes every Tuesday. He did mention like he has thousands and thousands of questions to get to, and I'm like, yeah, because you asked for questions, we're giving them to you.
Yeah. So, what did you expect, Nolan? Like,
it's a nice for me. It's a nice stress relief. It's a nice like comic relief, especially given what a lot of people are going through right now, given the times and COVID and stuff. So I really, really appreciate that little like 15-minute video thing that comes out every week. Like, yes, because sometimes you just need a good laugh. Just
dude, I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
I've had it where on Tuesdays or Wednesdays, whenever I get around to actually catching Uncle Noli, like I did this week when I was about to watch it, and we have a 3-year-old and she's just constantly chattering and talking, and I was like, shh, we need advice from Uncle Noli. It's time for advice. We need it.
Speaking of that, though, like I really like the way he censored some of the content for the younger generation, where he's like, buttes and cutes. That got me. That got me. Like
I was like, oh, all right.
Cutes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good.
I had to think about that one for a minute. Like, oh, okay, gotcha.
Yeah, like
interesting username.
Alrighty, let's rewind it a little bit more backwards to the Father Knows Best that we got this week. Again, the guys we got Nolan and Cooper playing Star Wars. They're getting really close to the end of it. And this was the first official rage quit of Father Knows Best. So I was trying
Finally.
I was trying really hard not to bring it up when she mentioned Nolan's rage quit from Spider-Man in the beginning. Like, save it for when we get there.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
I was gonna say when I first heard that there was gonna be a rage quit in the episode, I was like, I hope it's not like forced. But then when I watched it, I was like, okay, Nolan's frustration is fucking real because I felt it watching that episode. And I saw it in his face because Cooper was just wee all over the place with those speeders, and Nolan was just, would you just stop?
That's what the Lego games are like, though. It's just like pulling each other left and right. It's just you're gonna be on the same wavelength and just go in that direction.
Yeah.
Oh,
that last section when they were on the speeders, is that what they called?
Yeah.
That like made me seasick when they were going back and forth and all the time because they wanted to get coins. I was like, oh my god, just leave the coins. Stop doing this.
Get the coins. We're not going for the coins.
Yeah, in the one direction. I was like, oh, finally, I can actually watch this bit because they're not going back and forth all the time.
Well, I think it took them. They were trying to get the coins, but it took them 20 minutes to realise they had to shoot the stormtroopers on the speed bikes in front of them to get to the next part.
That was my problem going into that segment when they kept going back and forth. And I was like, wait a minute. I don't remember playing this stage if I have. The enemies kept zipping past them. And I realized, like, wait a minute. They're on a loop. This thing just keeps going over and over again. So they technically just need to keep going straight and come back around. And that's what started frustrating me. And like every time Cooper kept saying, we got to go back and get the coins, go back. And then Nolan was trying to do it too. And it was like, you don't need to keep going back. You just need to go straight. Just keep going forward. Like,
and you can get more coins then. Yeah.
Like that's where I started getting frustrated watching it too. And I was like right there with Nolan, like, and then Nolan, it was actually Nolan that realized it was a loop and said, this is a loop. Just keep going. And that actually impressed me that Nolan picked up on that, but Cooper was like the one fighting it. And I was like, no, Cooper. So I felt Nolan's rage on that hard.
Oh, yeah.
That was great.
Cooper's like, what do you mean? What happened? And then he just bursts out laughing. As soon as his father gets up, he's like, this sucks. I'm pissed. I'm leaving. I was like, oh, okay.
I love his like attempt to close out the show and then just gave up halfway through the sentence. It's just like, all right, see you next, and then just like gave up. And I was like, oh, poor Cooper. Like,
Cooper's laughing. He's just like, I don't understand what happened. Yeah.
My favorite thing about that rage quit was the fact that like Nolan was like, all right, that's it, I'm done. I'm not putting the viewers through this. And then he was like, fuck off, and like walked away. He's like, this sucks. But I like that he acknowledged, like, I don't want to keep making people watch this. Like, it's no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sure Drew's gonna do that bit then. Like, he'll just put it down, then Drew will get them through the next bit and be like, here you go. You can start the next episode here.
But I don't know if anyone else went through this. There was a point where it popped up with a PlayStation message saying that the Avengers beta had updated. And I was like, looking for my PlayStation controller, and then realized I'm not even watching this on my PlayStation. And I was like, that was Drew's. That was Drew's PlayStation message. It popped up on there during the
Which
recording.
makes me wonder, did they have to release Marvel Avengers episode on Sunday, realizing that it was still in the clip on Monday?
Yeah.
So it would have given it away anyway. But then I'm like, but they could have just clipped it out. Like they literally could have edited that out. So I'm like, maybe not. But that was in my head. I was like, oh, maybe that's why they did it on Sunday night, like really spontaneously.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Like, well, now we have to release it, or else they're gonna see this on Monday.
I'll ask. We'll do one of my questions.
We need to know.
I need to know, because I was like, what is that not why? Because like it did pop during the show, and I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Yes.
Well, I'm going to use that as a segue to talk about the Avengers beta that they
Yay!
Yes.
Great episode.
Oh,
yes.
Before even getting into that, have either of you been able to play that beta?
It's not a game that really interests me, to be honest.
Okay. Good way for me to gauge how your feelings of that video are going to be, though. Like, what did you think then?
I enjoyed the video. it was nice to see Nolan giving Cooper tips because he kept falling off as the Hulk and stuff. So.
Okay, so
yeah.
I mean, were you able to play it, Jennifer?
No, I'm still working on getting my PlayStation 4 back.
Gotcha. Okay.
So there's that. But it looks like a lot of fun. I found this episode interesting because again, right now there's like no face-to-face conventions happening. So to see the kind of gameplay, you'd probably see it at like a face-to-face convention, or for some people that are now trying to do virtual conventions, you'd see it maybe that way. I know DC just did one. DC Comics just did one and announced a bunch of stuff. So the fact that it's like, well, this is Nolan North playing the game with his son. He voiced the character. Like, this game is coming out. It's a new game. It's not like 2-3 years old game. It's not a 7-8 years old game. No, this is a game coming out now. Like, to see that kind of interaction, I'm like, oh, this is really cool. Like, he's playing in the game that he voiced with his son, so they get to experience it together firsthand. And just seeing like the gameplay, and also like the little banter that was cute. But it looks like it's gonna be a fun game. So really hoping that when it comes out, it'll be good.
David, you said you weren't interested in the Avengers game. Do you want to elaborate on that?
It's one of those games, although you can play it single player, I think it's probably a game that would lend itself more to being co-op. And I generally just don't have people around I can play co-op games with. So there's games like The Division and things like that I've never played, because they do lend themselves more to being co-op than single player. And although you can do them single, I think it'd be quite good to watch them play as a small series of shows. I don't know if it's got local co-op or whether it's online co-op or not. So it might depend on whether they can.
What I've experienced with the game, because I have played the beta, and I know Pagan has played the beta. I believe it's strictly online co-op. I don't think it'll offer any kind of split screen, mostly because of just how graphically intense the game is. They probably can't make it work in a split screen setting.
Oh, okay.
It would probably be a little too much on the system to handle that. Maybe next gen. Maybe then PS5 and Xbox Series X could handle a split screen, but I don't see the PS4.
It's gonna like a Destiny vibe, right? Like it's just purely online, and you can join somebody in it.
But from my experience with the game, I will say that I was pretty happy with the beta, and I felt very comfortable playing it single player, because the beta actually has you play a couple of missions solo before you can play with others, and it felt very playable in a single player setting, because no matter what, you always had a full squad of AI partners. And they were fairly intelligent too. So it didn't feel like you were being dragged down or suffered in any way playing by yourself. So just to mention.
It might be something I'll pick up when it becomes a bit cheaper, possibly.
Yeah, fair. Yeah. Like, see it out and everything. I'm sure when they release it, they're probably going to have to bring out updates. Usually,
sure.
Like they probably will. I know they will.
It's going to be a games as a service, like Destiny and other games like that. So they're going to be constantly updating it, improving it, and trying to make changes to make the game more playable. And maybe Sony will do something to be like, hey, let's make it a PlayStation Plus game, or let's put it on PlayStation Now so people can get into it. So you never know. But I want to get more of your impressions on the actual gameplay of Cooper and Nolan playing through that prologue mission.
Yeah, I was just going there because I do like that they're showing each character separately. I guess it looked like a tutorial / introduction. Yeah. So you get to play each character individually, which is great. And I do like as they're playing, Nolan's like, oh yeah, it's that voice actor, and yeah, it's that voice actor, and yeah, it's that voice actor. And did you know? While Cooper's just like, can I play the game? Like, Dad, I know you love your work. It's great. I just want to play the game. I was like, ooh, all right.
So
I totally agree with that, Jennifer. Like, he was so into this game. You can see Cooper get really, really involved and really intense in it. And I thought that was great. I love seeing that. I love watching somebody that's passionate about something.
Yes.
And obviously Cooper announced that he was in the games. He's dropped that he's in the game, but we don't know who he plays or if he's a character, you know. So I think that's really cool. I think that's so nice that he's gotten to work with Nolan and others, and now he's getting to play this like prologue, which introduces you to all of the main characters. He got so into it. I loved it. I thought it was great. I would love to see more of this multiplayer series. In fact, once it's released, I would love to see a Cooper, maybe Cooper and Friends series of multiplayer. On Marvels, because I think that's a great idea.
And they did hint in that about trying to do future stuff with Avengers right through the Retro Replay crew, which I mean potentially we could get, you know, Cooper and Nolan playing with other people, or maybe you know, Drew and crew possibly playing Avengers online. Cool. I'm curious to know, David, if that prologue did anything for you, just in general, like this looks cool or this looks stupid.
I've seen sort of that section so many times.
Oh, you've already seen that?
Yeah, obviously. Okay. I think when they first announced the game, it was that section, and when they've done the war tables for them, the developers, they always seem to go back to that same level. I think it does look fun. Like I say, it's just the how much fun I would get out of it playing it as a single player is what sort of puts me off a little bit. But yeah, I did like the video. Like I say, I liked Nolan getting sort of frustrated with Cooper just doing the same Iron Man move and things like that. So yeah.
Oh yeah.
Nice.
I think there's more to that game that probably in the final release that they need to show.
That's like the point I was about to make too, is a lot of people have watched that opening prologue in the game and be like, oh, this is so scripted, or it's like, you know, Big Bang story beat. How could they possibly do this throughout the whole game? It is a scripted thing. It's a prologue. It's meant to introduce you to all the different characters. You get a taste for each character through the prologue. So you get an essence of how each one handles before really getting into the game.
Yeah.
And I think it does a good job of doing that, because I'll tell you what, after playing that prologue, I did not get enough Captain America. I did not get enough Thor. And I can't wait to play as those characters in the final release.
I would actually agree. I think Captain America was the best. I loved playing Captain America in the prologue.
Everybody is universally agreeing that Captain America was one of the better characters to play as.
He was. And honestly, I actually really like Captain America and Black Widow's like battle style. I will say that after playing the prologue, I thought Hulk was really clunky and too slow to do anything. Way too slow.
He's the tank. He's a tank. It's not meant to be fast.
No, but I mean, to be fair, like he's supposed to be like, I don't know, like anytime, like especially when you're doing like, maybe Dan understands this a bit more. And when you're holding triangle to do like one of the moves to break the shield, it takes too long to do that because enemies will just shoot you anyway and break the middle of your transaction. So you're like, for fuck's
they'll
sake.
cancel the animation.
That annoys the crap out of me, because I was like, this should have, like, you know, like it's just because it takes too long to do anything and you're surrounded by people with shields, so you're kind of trying to do your best. And Kamala, like, I think what a great character. I'm loving Miss Marvel character. She's so cool, but I did not like her fight style. I just felt it was really strange and clunky and everything. And I'm like, oh man, like I like where this is going. Like, just I don't know how to improve it, but like it just felt really strange.
Do you have any last thoughts on that? The episode, Avengers, the discussion they had?
Not really. Like I said, I just enjoyed their sort of banter between each other and stuff. I do think it'd be interesting to watch them play the final game when it's released.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
agreed.
I think it'd be interesting watching them play other games that Nolan's going to be in coming up. You know, things like Dirt 5 or something like that. You know.
Yeah, that episode proved good testing grounds for two things: playing multiplayer games like Avengers and other games similar to that, and playing new games that Nolan and or maybe Cooper are going to be in, and like promoting the game in themselves in the same time.
Yeah. I can't wait for them to, you know what, I think, like, I mean, when I say like it'd be really cool to see Cooper and friends do it and stuff like that, because I don't think it'll have local game like multiplayer and stuff like that. I think it might also be difficult to film. and have the two cameras going at once, but it could happen. But I would love to just see maybe if he's into streaming or something like that, to stream him play it, because I would really enjoy watching him find his character in the game.
If his character's not playable.
If his character's not playable, but we'll see. Like I would just like to see that and like see his reaction to that the same way I liked seeing Alana's reaction to her voices in Gear 5. Gear 5. So, you know, I think it's such a nice moment, especially if it's your first game or anything, or it's your first work with your father or something. I just think that'd be really interesting to see. And if it was on stream or live on stream where you could interact with chat and stuff, I think that would be cool.
I think it'd be interesting if, I mean, time-wise, because he's busy, probably wouldn't be. It'd be interesting if they created like a retro replay Twitch channel where he could actually do a longer stream as such for maybe games like that.
Well, you see, like I know that Get Good is obviously coming to the show, and Get Good right now are on Twitch and they're streaming for whatever 2 to 3 hours a thing. So I would presume that they would bring their content to Retro Replay as a stream, but I don't nobody knows at the moment what Get Good is going to be on the Retro Replay show. So I think there could be potential for that, but I don't think on Twitch as a platform. I think they would continue to use YouTube because that's where all their memberships are set up and stuff for donations. So I think it might just be cleaner if they are bringing anything stream related, like what I suggested with Cooper. I think that would be really cool streaming via YouTube, because Twitch is a different community and it's a different set of systems. So it's a better set of systems, arguably, but I just think maybe YouTube might be a little bit more discoverable for them. But not a bad call. Not a bad call for like more live streaming events. I think that'd be cool.
Yeah. I'd also be interested, if it's possible, but I don't know, if Cooper makes a go at playing with his brother, because we don't really get to hear or see much of his brother. And again, that's logistics of the family and stuff. So I know that, but it'd be cute to see like one time, just try like one time Cooper and his brother play a game. Yeah. And then Nolan trying really hard not to interrupt the game. Just trying very hard not to.
Yes.
Yeah.
When we get the Norths playing Wii Sports.
Yeah, the Norths playing Wii Sports.
Oh,
Dan's
so
still gunning for that.
Yeah,
that would be really good.
To get the whole family.
That would be really good.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
You could get them playing Buzz, the quiz game.
Yeah, with the quiz game.
Yes.
Good idea.
Or Jackbox it up. Let's just Jackbox it up.
I was just thinking about Jackbox. Like, that might
good.
that might be a thin line
Dangerous?
with Nolan.
I think it'd be great. I think I'd love to
bit.
see like his dirty mind take on Jackbox. Honestly, I think it'd be great. Good content.
The cringe from his sons will happen. Yes,
Yeah.
For sure.
All right, guys. I think we're going to start wrapping the show up here. We're going to close it out with giving you guys an opportunity to share with us anything that you want to promote, anything you want to tell us about yourselves, or just if you want to put out your socials there and tell people where they can find you. This is your time. And I'm going to start with David.
I don't really have any socials. I do have a Twitch page, but I haven't found time to do any streaming yet. So
No problem.
I have an Instagram account, but that's for my dog, not for me.
Do you want to tell people where they can find your dog?
What is it?
I will follow both.
Yes.
It's Lunaboo Cockapoo.
Wow.
Is, on Instagram.
Oh.
But no, I don't have any socials or anything like that. So.
All right, no worries. And nothing else you want to like talk about that you might be doing or working on that you want to share with the community?
No, not at the minute.
Okay, no problem. All right, then I'll kick it over to Jen. What you got?
Okay, so still working on, which I participate in with members from the Rooster Teeth New York community. It's called Late to Anime School. It's a podcast. Well, we have it on Spotify for now. We talk about various animes. We do have a Ruby episode that is now out. Because eventually we are going to try to cover volume 7 at some point. Scheduling. COVID sucks.
Oh, yeah.
But we do talk about other animes too. It's usually like one person is the sensei. So they're introducing the anime to other people. And then either the mix of the podcasters are either people who have seen that anime before and just want to talk about it, or people who have never ever seen it before and are now seeing it for the first time and want to like get into it or like, but what's that? But I didn't see that. Some people do have like knowledge of like Japanese
like
history and
when
stuff.
we get talking about anime here on the podcast and we're teaching Pagan about an anime or something, and she's like, "Oh,
yes, please, yes, please."
Put it on a list that I never get to.
Yes,
Mhm.
I
yes.
just don't have time.
But
it is on a list.
Yes, fun fact. There's a running gag going because I don't know Japanese, so we end some of the episodes on Japanese sayings. I know none of them, so that's been a
sayonara.
running gag.
Sayonara. That's perfect. Just sayonara, folks.
It's been
That
a
means
running
bye.
gag. Eventually, it'll change, but you know. Also, I'm on Facebook. You see me in the. It's just my name. For the Facebook chats. I am on Twitter. If some people have caught on, it's BX Anime Fan 1129. I really like long screen names. Don't ask. Don't at me either. But yeah, that's about it. Yeah.
Perfect. And then we'll include all of that in the show notes, of course, so people can see where to find you. You can check them show notes. Cool.
Yes.
Thank you guys so much. So closing it out, we don't have a retro reply yet this week. So if you have questions you want to send in to get answered by the cast or crew, you can send them over to us at the thereplayerpodcast at gmail.com. You can also send them to Pagan or myself on Twitter, and we'll be sure to send those questions in for you guys to get them answered right here on the podcast.
Yeah.
All right. So that's going to be it for you guys. We're just going to do a last thank you to Retro Replay and everyone over there at the Retro Replay crew and cast. Thank you guys so much. Without you, we would not be here. Thank you so much. You can find us on Facebook and Twitter, the Replayer Podcast. And that's it. That's you can see our episodes every Wednesday on YouTube, Anchor, and any of your favorite podcasting services. Thank you, David. Thank you, Jennifer, for joining us this week. It was lovely having you both.
Yay!
Yay.
So
Thank
good
you
to have
for
you
having
guys
us.
on.
Yes.
Oh,
Thank
you're
you so much
welcome.
for sharing.
Pleasure.
Yes.
I enjoyed all the retro gaming chat. That was nice. Let's talk more about Dreamcast. All right, with that, guys. Game over.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.